Hello and welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know if you can hear me well. Big welcome to all of us. Welcome to Saturday Q&A Live. Please let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know if you can hear me well. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Feel free to share this link with your friends. Feel free to share it on your wall so that we can invite someone else to join us even as we prepare to begin. A big welcome to all of us. Let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know if you can hear me well. We should be starting in the next 1.5 minutes. Feel free to share this with your friends so that we can be learning together. Right. Welcome, everyone. We have a few seconds just before we begin. A big welcome to everyone joining in. Feel free to let me know where you are joining me from, even as we prepare to begin in the next few seconds. All right. Okay. Dottie Mwagai, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much, Dottie. Good to see you. Yaniv Farms, you can hear me loud and clear. Joining in from, do we read it Nigel or we read it Niger? From South Africa. Good to have you here. Irene Chisanga, thank you so much. Good to see you. It's been a while. Daniel Mutahi from Nyahururu, loud and clear. Thank you so much, my brother. Good to see you. Keep sharing this with your friends so that we can invite a couple more people to join us even as we go ahead with this. Enoch Monyancha from Eldoret, good to see you, good to see you. How is the City of Champions? Irene Chisanga, you're saying you can hear me loud and clear from Zambia. Max, good to see you, good to see you. It's been a while. We are coming to you live on YouTube, live on Facebook. I can see a few people on YouTube. I can see a few people on Facebook. Feel free to let me know where you're joining me from. Yaniv Farms, you're saying the entrepreneurship program has been literally a game changer for you. Do you perhaps plan to have a similar program on financial planning? There have been requests on related areas. I probably must give them a thought. I will let you know once something has cooked. But I have received a couple of requests in that direction, so I will give it a thought and see. Etabo Daniel, thank you so much, and we will be mentioning a bit about the entrepreneurship program for the sake of those that probably are joining us for the first time and have not heard about it, because we have a new cohort that will be starting classes on the 18th of this month, and expression of interest is closing on the 10th. Right, so in the event that you've not heard about it, probably we will say a few words about the same. Itabo Daniel from Kakuma, Turkana County, thank you so much, good to see you. Once again, a big welcome to everyone who's just joining us. This is Saturday Q&A Live, and the voice you're listening to is from Coach Roy Okonji. I am your financial literacy and business development coach. This is what we do on all my social media handles. We gather here to just talk about money and everything in the world of money, the good, the bad, the ugly of the world of money. We usually come to you live twice in a week. We come to you live on Wednesday on YouTube. We come to you live on Saturday to do Q&A both on YouTube and on Facebook. On Wednesday, we pick a topic and we do justice to it. Currently, we are handling the conversation of debt. We are calling it Understanding Debt. We just did the introduction, and God willing, we purpose to proceed from next Wednesday going forward. So if this is a topic you wanted to understand, please make a date with me every Wednesday as we do justice to it, so that we can be able to understand it from different corners, so that you can improve your relationship with money from a debt perspective. Okay, so every Saturday we gather here to just ask and answer questions in the world of money. And with that statement, allow me to officially open the comment section for you to begin asking your questions, even though I have seen a couple already there. Itabo Daniel, sorry, just I had seen you. Solomon Siamwi from Zimbabwe, thank you so much, good to see you. Frederick Orero from Mombasa, a pleasure having you always. Joseph Foyange, my brother, good to see you. You can hear me loud and clear. I don't know whether you're still in Mombasa or you're joining in from a different county. Lukwago Solomon joining in from Uganda. Thank you so much, my brother. I peeped through Uganda recently. I was not staying, but I had a sumptuous meal of boiled chicken, which was and still is memorable, all the way from Uganda, accompanied by a mixture of matoke and what you call the posho, what we call ugali here. Good to have you, good to have you. Boniface Sachisola, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you very much, Boniface, for joining the Zambian battalion. Good to see you. Zambia is very well represented here. Thank you so much. You're joining us through YouTube. Good to see you here. Joachim Dockrets, tuned in from Toy Market as usual. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Joseph, you're saying you're joining live from Mombasa as usual. You would highly recommend the Entrepreneurship Development Program to the viewers. Thank you so much, my brother. This is coming from the horse's mouth, first-hand experience. So thank you so much. Jakapunda joining in on YouTube. Good to see you. You're saying on Wednesday you were locked and today you are in. Good evening to you. Thank you so much from Muranga. Sultan Sugal Haji Jama, thank you so much. Good evening to you. Joining us from the UK. Thank you so much. It's good to have you here. Patrick Kirudi, I can see you. Hi, is it advisable to start retirement planning as early as 25 years old? Then how does money market fund work? Thank you so much. I'm coming to that. Dominic Okongo, thank you so much from Komarov. Good to see you. Yes, Patrick Kirudi, the reality of retirement is that the day you get employed is the day you start thinking about retirement. It's something that very few people can wrap their minds around, and I'm happy that you're already thinking about that. I remember, and I think I've shared this in some other video, that when I got employed, I remember someone coming and that person tried to speak to me about retirement and about the need for me to join a retirement scheme. And I remember looking at this person and wondering, can't a young man enjoy his money anymore? Because I was thinking at that time that retirement conversations are conversations of, the elderly, people who are nearing retirement. At that time, my brain was not asking if it's a conversation of people nearing retirement. So when are they planning? What are they doing exactly about it? If then they have to start talking about it when they are nearing retirement. Later on, I came to join the scheme, and I remember when I was quitting employment to come into the business world, I went to check my account, and that was the first time I regretted that I delayed to join that particular scheme. In fact, I only joined because the employer almost forced that we join. Okay, so I usually tell young people that the day you find a job is the day you think about leaving that job, because the truth is that a day of exit will come, and your choices now will dictate how your life upon exit will look like. So I'm so excited to hear that you're thinking about the same. Then how does money market fund work? Well, money market fund is an investment option in a bracket that we call the money equivalent type of investment. And it falls under the larger umbrella of unit trusts. This is where investment is done in a pooling way, okay? So you have some money you want to invest, but probably you are not able, for whatever reason, to invest directly yourself. Therefore, you give your money to investment experts. There are companies that have fronted themselves as investment experts. So you give them your money, and they do the investment for you, and then they will bring you the returns and deduct a commission for doing the job for you. So what they do is that they will pick it from like-minded people like you, okay? Not necessarily, Patrick, people who want to invest, people who have money, but probably they do not or cannot be able to invest directly themselves. So you give your money to those people, they do the, for lack of a better word, the dirty work for you. Then they bring you the returns, and then they deduct a commission. Now, here is how they operate. You get to open an account with any of the service providers, and you check in your respective countries which providers are licensed to provide, are licensed as unit trust, service providers. Then you get to select one of them that you would want to invest with. You open an account with them. Most times, the account opening documentation will be the basic identification documents and probably your tax PIN certificate or something like that. Then they will open an account and you deposit a minimum investment, amount. Okay. So when you give them your money, you will have bought units. Most times, a unit is equivalent to 1 unit of your currency. So if you give them 5,000 Kenya shillings, they will tell you have bought 5,000 units. Okay. Then the money will start working, and interest interest accrues daily. Then it is applied at the end of the month. Okay. So at the end of the month, the interest that has been calculated daily is then loaded to your account. The good thing about money market funds is that you can be able to keep adding money as you get the money. So it's not an investment where you must bring one lump sum and it is sealed. No, you can be able, if today you get some money, you can add. And the minimum investment amount is an amount that is a flexible amount. We have companies that will accept as low as 1,000 bob, even 100 shillings. Okay, even 100 Kenya shillings, which is more or less about $1 or less than $1, right? So you can be able to add money as you go, because interest is calculated daily. So at the end of the day today, the system checks how much money is in your account. Then based on how the trading looked like, the interest is apportioned for a day and it is applied on that amount. The same thing will happen tomorrow and so on. Then another thing about the money market funds and the entire unit trust setting is that you can be able to access your money on demand. Most of the service providers will give you a flexible way of accessing your money. So if you have some money that you know you will require in the near future, then one, don't put them in a place that does not bring anything. Then two, if you're looking for where to place, then the money market funds become a very good place to hold such money. There are also good places for accumulating money that you're planning to use in future to do a certain project. Okay, because the money as it's accumulating is also earning something. They are also very good for what we call sinking funds. Sinking funds is where you want to have a particular account for a specific thing. So maybe you want to pull some money for your holiday in December. So instead of saving in a piggy bank, you can be able to open a money market fund and put the money there. Then you want to have some money for your car if you have a car, so that in the event something happened to your car, you have some money. Then it works very well. That's what we call the sinking funds, where you want to have money being apportioned to a particular thing. So you can have several accounts, sorting out a specific thing in your life. In a nutshell, that is how they work. But you have to also be careful as you select. There are many factors, and we have talked about this. I think if you went back, you might find some videos on the money market funds as options. There are some factors to consider when you want to select which fund will be good for you. Different people select the providers based on different factors. So we don't have a one size fit all, but allow me to just quickly mention what you can look at. One, you can look at the strength of the service providers, the financial performance of the service providers. You can also look at their asset base. You may want to just see how is their performance, how do their books of accounts look like, how is their balance sheet looking like, how is their income statement looking like, so that you can be able to just see whether you are convinced that it's a strong company. You also want to look at how long they've been in existence. Okay, so that's just about the strength of the company. You also want to look at the leadership of that particular company. Who is at the helm of the company and what are they known for? Okay, sometimes you might dig out and find whoever is at the leadership probably is someone who is involved in a scandal that is publicly known. So you might want to be careful as you get into that. So that's about the strength of the company. You also want to make sure that the company is regulated. So every country has got the regulator. Here at home, we use the Capital Markets Authority. So, and I have seen your question done asking the names of those funds. If you went to the Capital Markets Authority website, you will find the updated list of licensed money market fund providers. There are very many. The number is growing by the day. There are very many of them. Okay, so the list will be there. It is constantly updated. So you want to just be sure that I'm dealing with someone who is licensed to do this kind of business. What else do you want to look for? You also want to look for something called AUM. AUM is assets under management. Okay. This information is largely available online. You can Google it out for different countries. You can actually get to check. It's public information, so you can check assets under management for the money market fund providers. This one tells you that people have entrusted this company with this amount of money. So that can also give you some peace of mind, some comfort that, hey, if people have trusted this company with X number of billions of shillings, then chances are high that many people have got some trust in them. Okay. Then you also might want to look at the returns. So they also keep communicating what their average return would be looking like. Of course, the return will be an estimate because it depends with the forces as they play every other day, but they are able to give an indication of the average return that they will be giving. So there are some people who will be looking for the person promising the highest returns. There's another person who will be looking for the person who has the biggest assets under management. There's another person who will be looking for the strongest in terms of assets and so on. Okay, so you may want to look at the returns that they have promised. You may also want to look at their customer service. Sometimes in different countries, they are able to rank them in terms of customer service, depending on whether a survey has been done or not. So when you go to Google, you can check the money market funds ranking by customer service. If you are that kind of person who wants to go to a place where many people are saying these guys know how to serve us. So you may want to just find a delicate balance that probably picks the most important bits that matter to you. So I hope in a nutshell, I have said something that will highlight or make more sense or probably introduce you to money market funds. Once again, feel free to reach out. You can book a one-on-one session so that we can be able to sit down properly. I can be able to break it down for you properly. I can be able to give you latest, figures and reports as the case might be. Right. So in a nutshell, that's how the money market funds work. Right. So thank you so much. Let me know if that has opened your mind well, even as we progress. Okay. Dan Mangongo, you're saying you're joining live from Jazeera, Mogadishu, Somalia. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Dennis Siatiho, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you all the way from Bunyoreland. I hope everything is flowing well back at home. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dominic Okongo, could you please differentiate between treasury bills and bonds and how they work? Treasury bills and bonds. Now, treasury bills and bonds are avenues of you investing in your government. Okay, governments across the globe are borrowing money from their citizens. That's why we talk about local borrowing and foreign borrowing. Okay, so every country has got these two kinds of borrowing. At least every country that borrows. So we can borrow money from foreign agencies. We can also borrow money locally. So when it comes to borrowing money locally, we will be borrowing money from the public by allowing the public the opportunity to invest in their government. Worldwide, the governments are still ranked as the safest ways of investment. Okay, though we have started getting a few hints of government struggling, but they still rank as the safest in terms of safety. So governments will have two ways. Most governments will have two ways of investment: the short-term options and the long-term options. Treasury bills are the short-term options. These are options that allow you to invest in your government for durations not exceeding 1 year. Okay, so for example, here at home we have treasury bills that are of 90 days. We have treasury bills that are of 180 days, and treasury bills that are of 1 year. Okay, so when you go to your respective central bank, their website, or you visit them physically, they are constantly releasing bids or opportunities for people to bid to invest with their government. So every invitation to bid specifies that we are giving out this bill, and this is what we are promising as returns. Okay, this is the kind of interest that we will pay as returns. Now, the bills are a bit different in the way they operate in terms of the interest. The bills are usually bought at a discount and then paid at face value. This is what I mean. Let's say you want to invest 100,000 shillings and the promised rate is 10%. Ordinarily, you will give 100,000 and expect to get 110 at the end of the day. Of course, less withholding tax, which is expected and which varies from country to country. Now, what will happen in the case of treasury bills is that instead of giving 100 and expect 110, you will less what is the expected return. So that means you will invest 90, and then upon maturity, assuming the maturity is whatever period, if the return was to be 10, then upon maturity, you get 100. So you buy them at discounted rate. Upon maturity, you get the face value. Now, the bonds are long-term options beyond 1 year and going into 10 years, even plus. Okay. Now, the government invites you to invest through bonds, mostly for long-term, capital investments by the government. So you will hear about infrastructure bonds and so on. So this one is where you have some lump sum. Both of them, you require lump sum. Unlike the money market fund, for treasury bills, you cannot be adding. Okay, the only way to add is for you to bid for another one. But once you have bidded for this and you have put the money, it is closed. So if you want to add some more money, you come and bid for the next one that you will find. The bonds, you will bring your money. If you're buying a bond for 10 years, you put your money, okay, you bid as usual, they will announce, so you select the one you want, you complete, you bid, you say, I have 1,000,000 shillings to give you. Then when it is closed, they will analyze. Sometimes there is oversubscription, so they will not give everyone as they had bidded. They may scale it down. So you may have bidded to give 1,000,000. They may tell you, we can only take 700,000. Or sometimes there is under subscription, and chances are high that whatever you bidded will be accepted. So you have bidded for 1,000,000 or whatever amount, it is successful, so you give the money. If you have given the money for 10 years, then you sit and wait. But now how the bonds work is that every 6 months, this may vary from country to country, but every 6 months you receive interest. So assume interest per year is 10% or 12% or whatever percentage, and you are to get a certain amount. After 6 months, you will receive a half of that amount. So every 6 months, you will be receiving interest every 6 months until maturity. And the last 6 months, you will receive now your invested bond amount and the interest for the last 6 months. So in a nutshell, that's how the bond market works. It is good and very good for money that you will not need anytime soon. Okay, so probably it's money you will want to use in the next very many years from today, and you don't have any other plan. Okay, of course, each investment option comes with its own, risks. But like I have said, governments still rank highly. Um, I would also tell you to just, stick here. Very soon we will also call another webinar for investment basics. For anyone who just wants to understand some of the common investment avenues, then that is the webinar you may want to join so that we can be able to talk about the basics of investment. We called for a similar webinar some time back. I think there was some confusion at some point. So be on the lookout when we ask for that. You might want to subscribe so that we can get to talk more about different avenues so that you can also get to know which avenue can work for you. Not every avenue works for everyone. I like saying not every investment is good for you. We know the word investment is a good word, but not every investment option is good for you. All right. There is another question here. Several other questions have been pumped into the inbox. Okay, I think this one was picked, but let's just answer it. How many speaking engagements does someone need to perfect the skill of public speaking? I am not sure whether we have something like a perfect state, because your goal should be that you are getting better every day. As you go to speak, if you aspire to be a good speaker, there is no single day you will say, now I have attained best speaker target. Your aspiration should be that every opportunity you get to speak gives you chance to get better and better at it. So I'm not sure we have a point of perfection, but what I have seen work for me is that every day I want to do better than I did the previous time. So many people would imagine, many people would say, you are used to this thing, you've been doing it for many years, it needs to be very easy for you, and so on. I acknowledge there is the place of experience. There is what it has done to me at this particular time. There are things I'm not really afraid of. But as to whether I can have butterflies or not, yes, I can still have butterflies, but butterflies of performance, butterflies of telling myself, hey, I need to do better than I did last time if I have ever been invited by the same person. Or if I have never been invited by the same person, I'm just telling myself, hey, I need to put my best foot forward. I don't know the other experiences they have had, but I just want to give them my best. Okay. So I always just want to see that the next one looks better than the previous one. Sometimes I will go and I will come back knowing today it didn't come out the way I wanted. The audience might have wowed, they have clapped, everyone is okay, everyone is saying this guy has done this guy is top, this guy is good. Maybe I have received feedback, but because excellence is about you and your potential, is about you and your previous performance, I know for sure while they have clapped and they have said all those things, I know there is this particular thing I needed to do this way, but it didn't come out that way. All right. But now that comes with experience. But one thing I must mention is that the world of public speaking is a world of practice. Is a world of practice. So utilize every opportunity you have to practice. Okay, to practice, whether they are paying you or not, because for you to get better, you have to have practiced. The same way we will have pilots talking about flight hours, we will also have speakers talking about, that kind of experience. I remember when I was starting, I used to note down literally the number of people I have spoken to. I maintained an Excel sheet that I used to capture details. Every time I'm invited to a place, I would want to know, so how many people have come? 100 people, so I would go and add. That time, I had given myself a goal that I will do that until I have spoken to 10,000 people. All right. And so when I got to a level where I had spoken to 10,000 people, I thanked God and I said, it's okay. It's okay. At least I've been able to monitor that from scratch to a point where I know I have spoken to at least 10,000 people publicly in person. Okay. But that was just my own goal. So everyone has got their own goals as they grow in that particular journey. The second question attached to the same is it good to start charging a fee at an early stage, or you just speak for free? Again, it depends with your aspirations in the space of speaking. If you're going into speaking as a career like I did, then there is an expectation that at some point you will begin to charge. The science of charging is another complex altogether, but there is no particular point that is marked that says you have to speak for free for this number of times before you can begin to charge. It is how you feel about the content that you have, how you believe in that content, and how you believe in your delivery, and the value of that particular content that will allow you to start charging at whatever point. Okay, at whatever point. How much you will charge, like I have said, that's another conversation altogether. Probably you need to see me on the side. We sit down and I can be able to guide you. And for anyone who might have, other questions on public speaking, I have done some series on TikTok. There is a series of 6 lessons on TikTok. You go to TikTok, for those that are on TikTok, look for Coach Roy Okonji. And when you go to my profile, go to the segment of series. You will find a series on foundations of public speaking. It is a 6-lesson series that gives you some of the basic fundamentals of public speaking. It can be able to help you to, capture a few things. But feel free to also seek for a one-on-one session, and then I will be glad to work with you. I have shared my experiences and what I have gathered from others with very many other upcoming speakers, and that might help you. So, of course, at some point you will need to speak for free. That happens even in the business of physical items, commodities. Sometimes you have to give people to test what you have produced, especially if it's a new thing that people know nothing about. Those of you that follow me on Facebook, you've seen recently I've been throwing in a few things from the past, just to let you appreciate that it has been a journey. I did not drop and find myself where I am. It has been a journey. And I'm just dropping those things so that in case there is someone, who might be interested in a similar path, or, anyone who is in business and maybe they are wondering that things are not happening very fast, you can begin to see, hey, this story did not just start here. This story started from somewhere. So I've been throwing in for the last few days, posts from 2016. Towards the end of last year, I gave you posts from 2014 to 2015. This particular week, I've given you from 2015, 2016, just to show you this is what I was doing a time like this several years ago. Okay, so there is a time when people do not know about you. I remember when I quit my job, and today I gave a post that I was saying, when I had done a public event in Eldoret on the 25th of November 2016. That was my first public event in Eldoret. Randomly picking a town and making posters, making flyers. I remember I did very many flyers, took them down there for people to distribute, calling people to a public event where I was just coming to inspire them. Okay. And I think my first topic was beyond self-limitations. The following day, the 26th of November, is when I tendered my resignation from employment. Not because I had received a lot of money from that event. No, actually, I think averagely, after all the events I did, because I did several events in that town, I spent more money than the money I ever received. Okay. But all that goes into the process of becoming. So when I left the employment space, I came into a space where no one knew about me. And so I need to make people to know about me. I need to reach out to companies and tell them, hey, I am here. I do this and this. They've never heard about me. So some of them, you tell them your name and they're like, you said who? So to be able to avoid such, I would come up with programs where I would offer to do pro bono talks to companies, just to give them a taste of what I was offering. Then if they like it, the next time they want it, now we can talk business. But if you sit down and say, I can't speak for free, then chances are very high you might experience some struggle at some point. So we've done countless pro bono conversations. Sometimes I have spent money several times to go and do a pro bono very far away, where you will speak, everyone will clap. Then once you're done, they tell you thank you very much, and no one is giving you fuel, no one is giving you bus fare. And they bless you. Some of them will tell you God bless you, and probably those are the blessings that I've been riding on. But yeah, that's how the journey looks like. Right. Someone else is asking, Coach, how can I overcome the fear of investing? How can I overcome the fear of investing? I think we need to bring this investment class very fast. Let me know in the comment section if you agree that we need to bring the investment class soon, because I can see a good number of questions. I can also see some messages saying that I have explained the money market fund clearly. Right. So let me know in the comment section if you think that we need to have the investment class soon. Usually for those kind of webinars, we just charge about 10 USD, roughly about 1,000 Kenya shillings, and that's it. Okay, so it's not something complicated. We gather for 2 hours. We get to dissect, dig deeper into a conversation, so that then we can have a better understanding. So how can I overcome the fear of investing? Right. Those that have just joined in, don't worry. I'll be welcoming you shortly. I know this just because questions have been flowing. and I know it's because we have missed one another here for a while when I was doing my movements across the counties. Right. So how can you overcome your fear of investing? First of all, you need to understand your fear. What kind of fear do you have about investing? Is it that you fear that you can put your money and your money disappears? Then once you get to understand exactly what you fear in the world of investment, then we also want to look at the root of fear. And one of the biggest roots of fear is lack of adequate information. Most times, we will be very afraid of what we do not know more about. If you have scanty information about something, you are likely to be afraid of that thing. That's how it works. Right. So sometimes there is some kind of fear that can be done away with simply by acquiring information about the subject matter. Then it's also important for me to say that you also need to take time to know yourself. What kind of person are you? What kind of risks can you be able to take? There's a video here on investment tips. Okay, so whichever platform, if you just search for investment tips, I have done a video on what you need to do before you get to invest. So one of those things is that you need to know what kind of person are you, what kind of risks can you be able to take. Then you look for options that are in tandem with the kind of person that you are, with the kind of risks that you can be able to take. Again, if you have been afraid, then it's advisable that you try getting in bit by bit so that you don't just pick, a huge amount of money and put it wherever. You can try bit by bit. You will be gaining trust with time, and that might also help to do away with your fears. Another option would also be that you can also consult experts in investment. There are very many, so that they can also be able to guide you. But I must make this clear that if you want to get neutral information about anything, don't look for that information from someone who is an interested party. Don't look for information from someone who is a provider of investment options, because chances are very high that that person will want to pull the rope in their direction. That is very important. And in whichever area, if you ever want neutral, opinion, then please look for it from someone who has a neutral perspective. In a nutshell, those would be a few things I would say about fear of investment. It is a fear that many people have, but it's a fear that we can deal with bit by bit. Right. So once again, a big welcome to everyone who has just joined in. This is Saturday Q&A Live. This platform is called Coach Roy Okonji, and the person you're listening to is yours truly, Coach Roy Okonji. And the only thing we do here is that we talk about financial literacy and business development. And so a big welcome to everyone who's come. If this is your first time, if you found yourself here and this is your first time, please take a moment and follow me. Take a moment and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Take a moment and follow me on whichever social media platform of your choice. And we shall continue interacting in as far as money matters are concerned. So we gather here every day to just talk about money, to talk about business, to talk about everything in the world of money, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. So if your ears itch to hear such things, then you are in the best and the right place. Right. So a day like this, we do Saturday Q&A Live every Saturday. That is the norm. Unless it is absolutely impossible for us to come live, like it has been the case for the past couple of 2 or 3 Saturdays when I was away traversing counties doing something else. And so the timing for our live was clashing most of those times with my traveling schedule. But Saturdays are for Q&A Live. We also do come live every Wednesday on YouTube. And on Wednesday, we pick a topic and we try to do justice to that particular topic. Currently, we are talking about understanding debt. So if you've ever wanted to understand debt very well, then please make a date with me next Wednesday. We started the introduction. The video is still here. You can be able, the video is on YouTube. You can be able to interact with it, catch up, so that when we meet on Wednesday, we can be able to flow. We also have an entrepreneurship development program. You've heard and seen a few people recommend and say it's a good program. It has helped them. It's a program I've been offering in conjunction with some corporate entities. Then last year, some of you said I needed to bring it to the public after I had mentioned about it. So beginning of this year, I brought it to the public, and the first class started in the month of February, I think February 14th. So we have classes that run every Tuesday and Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. We have done lesson 8. So next week we are going to lesson number 9. It's a 12-lesson program. So we are currently accepting expression of interest. If you check on this page, you will find a poster on the same, and there is a link for you to express interest. Expression of interest is free of charge. The program cost currently is 18,000 Kenya shillings, or about 180 USD. Their options for payment will be once, you can pay once, you can pay in 2 installments or 3 installments. When you're expressing interest is when you will get to choose which option you think can work for you. Right. Classes will begin on the 18th of April. So that will be a Thursday. So that particular cohort will be having that class every Thursday for 12 Thursdays. Again, the program is still at a subsidized rate because the required market rate is a minimum of 30,000 for the program. So we gave a 50% discount for the first group, and we are still giving a discount. So the ones who did from February, their rate was 15,000 or 150 USD. So the rate now is 18,000 or 180 USD. So in a nutshell, that's the entrepreneurship development program you've heard or you've seen people mention here in the comment section, just in case that you've been wondering. But there's a poster on my social media handles. You can be able to interact with it. Feel free to inbox in case you want more details, and I'll be glad to share with us. All right, so thank you so much, everyone who has come. Let me just acknowledge a few people. Atawell, I can see you. Thank you so much. You are asking whether the NSC is likely to rebound. I am hopeful it will rebound. I am very, very hopeful it will. It has been sluggish for quite a while, but I am very, very hopeful that that it will. Victor Agona, good evening to you. You're saying we need to say something about personal pension funds, retirement schemes as a way of investment. You're joining us live from Kisii. Again, I believe we are continuing to say that we need to spare time and talk about these investment basics. All right. Like I said, let me know in the comment section. If many of you say we need to bring it the soonest, then we can think about it, look at my schedule, and probably come up with it. It's an online thing, so we can be able to plug in from wherever we are. But yes, personal pension funds are good ways of preparing for your retirement. And the thing about them is that whether you are employed or not, you can be able to have a retirement plan for yourself. Okay, so it can, there is an arrangement for you to do it privately. There's also an arrangement where you are employed and maybe your employer has a plan. Okay, so you join that particular plan and you flow with it. In the case that you end your employment with that particular employer, then you can be able to migrate it into a personal account, a personal pension account, and you continue doing your personal contributions. In the event that another day you get another employer, you can be able to merge them, or you can leave this one to run like that, and so on. But they are very good avenues of planning for your retirement. Of course, the rate of return is not the highest in terms of if you want to compare it with other investment options. But we get to choose what works for us based on how we know or what we know about ourselves. Not all of us can be able to juggle with the money in our hands that we are seeing every day. So if you realize that you can't be able to do that, then that would be a very good option for you. But there are other people who will say, I can build mine through the money market fund. And yes, I have been able to guide some people to build their retirement using the money market fund because of the difference in returns. Again, it depends with your fund managers and the kind of returns that they are giving. So if you have fund managers that are giving very little, maybe you might realize that you can utilize other options to get bigger returns. All right, but that's a conversation that we can only be able to do at another level. Daniel Olembo, you are in Juba and you're saying nothing is working there. So you just keep pumping money without returns, and you are in the manufacturing sector. So I don't know, Daniel, whether you are pumping money in the manufacturing business and nothing is happening, because then I would want to also understand a few things. What kind of business exactly is it? What is the history of that business? Was it performing before and maybe now it's not? Or is it a new one? And these are challenges that you're facing, and so on. I would really love to hear more about that, so that I can be able to understand better. Tebe Bolowe, good evening to you. Good evening to you. Joining all the way from Botswana. Thank you. I was wondering where the Botswana battalion was. Thank you so much for opening the door. The other battalion I have not seen is the battalion from Malawi. I have not seen my people from Malawi. If they are here, they will let me know. Lucy Mwango, thank you so much for the clear explanation on treasury bills and bonds. Can one roll over the interest after receiving it on every 6 months? Now, that is the only undoing for the bills and bonds. Like I said, for the bills and bonds, once you've done the bidding and it has closed, that is a chapter put aside. So if you wanted another one, then you come and bid for another one. All right. So that is the difference between it and the money market fund. Whereas the money market fund allows you to roll. You can manually be rolling. Actually, not even manually, because the money market fund will not give the interest to you. It credits it in the money market account. So it is rolling until the day you choose to withdraw. For the bonds, when the interest is received, it comes to your account. So maybe you can decide that now when you receive that kind of interest, you want to pile it somewhere. Maybe you can now have a money market fund for receiving. Once you receive, you channel it there. If you don't have something to use it for right now, then once it builds again to a certain point, you can then redirect it wherever else you would want to. That would be an option, probably, that would help. Boniface Muderema. You're watching from Kakamega. Good to see you. Lukwago Solomon, my take on affiliate marketing, freelancing, and e-commerce. Those are huge topics. Maybe that is where we can start. No, let me close there. So Affiliate marketing, good avenue for making some money. Okay, good avenue for making some money. You don't have to create the products yourself. The products are already existing. You just need to utilize your marketing skills to be able to sell what is already availed, and you make some money out of it. Freelancing is the new thing. We are in the gig economy. Very many of us. I am part of the gig economy myself. Okay. So part of my business rides largely on the gig space, so where I come do my thing, pay me, I disappear. Come do my thing, pay me, I disappear. Right. So right now we have got very many freelancers. All you need to do is just be able to learn a particular skill that is needed somewhere. Then, you begin to freelance, market yourself, advertise, tell people this is what you do. If it's a skill that is adding value to them, then people begin to look for your services. You go, you are not bound in one particular place. So you go do your thing, get paid, and then you move forward. And e-commerce, that is the space where we are in now. Okay, so we've got a lot of opportunities in those kinds of spaces, either as service providers or as intermediaries where it is possible, and also even in training. If you understand, for example, a lot about e-commerce, then you can also train people to be able to appreciate. So it's a space that has created a lot of opportunities for trainers, opportunities for people who, actively play in those particular spaces, and so on. Right. So thank you so much, good people. My timer says our 1 hour is gone. This is usually a 1 hour segment. So I appreciate that we can have very many questions. We will keep picking them. This video will remain here. So feel free at whatever point you get to interact with it, feel free to drop your comment. Feel free to be able to leave your question. We keep picking it. And every time we meet, we usually start by answering the questions that were not answered the previous time. A big welcome to everyone who just joined. Once again, if this is your first time here, please take a moment and follow me on whichever platform that you've joined. Take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We come to you live when we're doing Saturday Q&A live on YouTube and Facebook. And so both teams, Team YouTube, Team Facebook, thank you so much for finding time to come. Thank you for making this very, very active. Allow me to just big up a few people who have just joined in, even as we edge towards the end. Boniface Muderema, you're saying you need the investment class. I hear you. Lukwago Solomon, thank you so much for coming. We will still pick these questions that are here. Joachim Dockrets, you're saying we need the investment class. Itabo Daniel, thank you so much. You're calling for the class. Weekly from Bonya from Nakuru, thank you so much for coming. Niita Tobias Kapopo, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, good people. In the event that I have not seen your message or your question, don't worry, we will look at them. Once again, feel free to welcome your friends. Help me to invite your friends to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me to invite them to follow me on Facebook and any other social media platform. When this video remains here, feel free to share it with them so that they can also be able to pick a lesson or two. Let us join hands in helping each other improve our relationship with money. And as I always say, you can do better. May God bless you. May God keep you well. May God look at you with, very good eyes, so that your endeavors may be successful. May your financial story change so that every time we meet, you have got something interesting to narrate. Thank you so much. God bless you. You can do better.